to Brexit now, and the British Prime Minister is to hold surprise talks with the French President at the end of the week in a bid to get him on board with her plans. Cutting short her summer break in Italy, Theresa May will head to President Macron's holiday home in the south of France this Friday. May and members of her cabinet have been on a summer charm offensive across Europe ahead of a crunch Brexit summit in October. Well, British Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt was in Paris this week, where he warned that failing to reach a deal would be a tragedy. Well, joining us now live from central London is our UK correspondent Vincent McAviney. Vincent, this is fairly unusual, isn't it, for a British Prime Minister to not only interrupt her holidays for work, but also for a French President to open up his holiday home to that leader. Can she succeed in getting Macron behind her for her Brexit plan?
That's right, Belle. It's very rare for a British Prime Minister to interrupt their holiday like this unless there was some kind of national emergency. And you might think after the last couple of weeks that Theresa May's had that she deserves a break, but she's going to leave Lake Garda early and travel to the south of France. And this is part of a mission she set herself over the summer to build an international consensus behind her embattled Chequers Brexit plans. Now, she will travel to the Mediterranean retreat of the French president, that is Fort de Brenasson. Emmanuel Macron has not had any other foreign leaders there yet, and she hopes to try to soften his stance on her Brexit plans. Now, this is unlikely to be some kind of Mamma Mia fun in the sun get-together. Theresa May has a real work to do here because behind the scenes, it's thought that Emmanuel Macron is one of the toughest critics of the plans that Theresa May has come up with. And she needs to try to get him on side. It's part of a mission that she'll be doing throughout the summer. And yesterday, as you mentioned, Jeremy Hunt, the Foreign Secretary, also going to Paris and saying that the EU needs to evolve its thinking and that if there is a no-deal scenario, everyone in Europe would be affected to their detriment.
And of course, Vinny, she's under extreme time pressure, isn't she, Theresa May? How likely do you think it is that the UK can eventually reach a compromise Brexit deal at the next EU summit that's in Salzburg on the 20th of September?
Well, we've said it so many times, but time really is now running out for Theresa May, and that's why she's having to use her summer holidays. So she's starting with meeting Emmanuel Macron this week. She's already actually met the Austrian Chancellor last week. She met Angela Merkel before Chequers. But it's likely that other EU leaders will have their summer holidays interrupted by the Mays popping up to drop in to chat about Brexit. That is the kind of pressure that's on her now. And Theresa May and Downing Street feel that they need to go above the heads of the European Commission, go directly to the other leaders and try to build consensus with them. Because Theresa May has a battle on her hands, not just with Europe, but also with her MPs. When she comes back from the parliamentary recess, she can turn to them, hopefully, in her mind and say, well, I've got the support of most of European leaders. I've been going around the country. She went to Northern Ireland recently. I've got support of, people around the country, businesses around the country. You now need to back my plans, because she has some tough parliamentary votes coming up to sell it to her own MPs. But it's likely that Theresa May will be trekking across Europe for the next couple of weeks, enjoying the sights. But those European leaders might not think her the most welcome guest.